When I married Claire, I thought I had found someone who valued the same things I did: loyalty, trust, and building a life together. For years, I poured myself into our marriage, doing everything I could to make her feel loved and supported. I worked long hours, planned surprises, and stood by her through every storm. But somewhere along the way, it became clear that for her, it was never enough. The changes started subtly. She used to light up when I came home, but now she barely looked up from her phone. Our conversations grew shorter, colder, and more mechanical, like she was just checking off a list instead of sharing her life with me. When I asked if something was wrong, she brushed me off with lines like, "Don't be so dramatic, I just need space," or "Stop acting insecure, I just want to enjoy myself." I wanted to believe her. I wanted to trust her words over the unease building inside me. But actions always reveal the truth. The girls' nights stretched later and later. Her outfits were suddenly more daring, more intentional, clothes she hadn't worn for me in years. She'd leave without so much as a kiss goodbye, tossing a careless, "Don't wait up," over her shoulder. The first night she came home past midnight, I told myself it was just once. The second time, I tried to ignore the pit in my stomach. By the fifth, I knew I was losing her to something, or someone, I couldn't see. Then came the night that shattered every last illusion. The clock struck midnight, and I heard her heels clicking against the floor as she walked in. Her perfume was overwhelming, mixed with the unmistakable scent of alcohol. She dropped her purse on the counter with a satisfied sigh and looked me straight in the eye, a smug smile playing on her lips. "I got the attention I wanted," she said, almost daring me to react. Her words hit like a punch to the gut. After everything I had given, everything I had sacrificed, she reduced her night to attention. As if that was what mattered most. She didn't even try to hide her cruelty. It wasn't just about staying out late anymore. It was about mocking the vows we had built our life on. That was the moment I knew. This wasn't the woman I had married. This wasn't the partner I had promised my future to. And for the first time, I stopped thinking about how to fix us, and started thinking about how to free myself. Claire didn't realize how much she revealed with that one smug sentence. I got the attention I wanted. It was like she had thrown gasoline on a fire she assumed would never burn. I didn't explode, I didn't scream, because I knew that's exactly what she expected. Instead, I stayed calm. I watched her take off her heels and toss them carelessly near the couch, as if her words hadn't just shattered what little trust was left. "You're awfully quiet," she teased, pouring herself a glass of water. "What, no lecture tonight?" I shook my head slowly. "No, Claire. No lecture." She smirked, clearly mistaking my silence for weakness. For years, she had mistaken my patience, my willingness to endure, as proof that I would never leave, that I was too loyal, too invested, too blind to see who she had become. What she didn't know was that I had already begun preparing for this moment long before she dared to say those words. Over the past few weeks, while she was busy chasing attention, I was taking notes, quietly, carefully, deliberately. Every late-night excuse, every lie she slipped into conversation, every smirk when she thought she had gotten away with something. I had spoken to a lawyer, moved my essentials into storage, and closed our joint accounts. Claire thought she was in control, but the truth was the ground beneath her had already shifted. That night, she leaned against the counter, swirling her water like she was holding court. "You know, John, maybe you should try being exciting once in a while. Maybe then I wouldn't need to look elsewhere for validation." Her arrogance almost made me laugh. Almost. Instead, I let her words hang in the air, then stood up, brushing past her. She frowned, confused. "Where are you going?" she asked, irritation creeping into her voice. I glanced over my shoulder. "Just making sure everything's ready for you." She didn't understand, not yet. But I knew she would soon. Because by the front door, stacked neatly and waiting, were her bags. I had packed them myself earlier that day. Every piece of clothing, every pair of shoes, every reminder of the woman I once loved. For the first time, I felt no fear, no hesitation. Just clarity. Claire thought she could mock me, disrespect me, and still come home to the safety I provided. But what she didn't expect was that I was no longer the man who stayed quiet while she tore our marriage apart. Tonight, she was about to face the end she never saw coming. When Claire finally noticed the suitcases by the door, her smirk faltered. She blinked once, then twice, as if her brain couldn't quite process what she was seeing. What is this?" she asked, her voice losing that edge of superiority. I walked past her calmly, stood by the door, and rested my hand on the handle of one of the bags. These are yours. Packed and ready." Her laugh came out shaky, forced. "John, this isn't funny. Why are my things out here?" I turned to face her fully. For years, I had seen her as the center of my life, but in that moment, I saw her for who she had become, selfish, careless, and cruel. My voice was calm, even colder than I thought possible. "You said being alone beats being with me. You said you wanted attention. Well, Claire, now you'll have both. Alone with all the attention you can chase. Just not here. Not in this home. Not with me." Her face drained of color. You can't be serious. You're overreacting." "Overreacting," I repeated, shaking my head slowly. "No. I'm simply done. You mocked me, belittled me, and treated me like a safety net while you sought validation elsewhere. You thought I would never act. But you were wrong." She stepped closer, her tone shifting from defiance to desperation. "Wait, John. I didn't mean it like that. You're twisting my words. I was just frustrated. You can't throw everything away over one sentence." I gave a humorless smile. "Claire, this isn't about one sentence. This is about years of indifference. Years of being treated like I wasn't enough. Tonight was just the final nail in the coffin." For the first time, she looked small, unsure of herself. "Where will I go?" she whispered. "That's not my problem anymore," I said, my voice steady as ice. "Your bags are packed. The door is open. And so is your chance to chase all the attention you want. Just know you won't find it here again." The silence that followed was heavy, almost suffocating. She opened her mouth to argue, to plead, but no words came. Instead, she looked at the bags, then at me, and realized there was no negotiation left, no second chance waiting. I opened the door, letting the cool night air sweep in. "Goodbye, Claire." She hesitated only a second before picking up her bags with trembling hands. And just like that, she stepped out into the night, chasing attention, but losing the one man who had once given her his everything. And as the door shut behind her, I felt nothing but peace.